What's up guys, it's your boy Texas Gamer here, and today we're back with another Tiny Seller Stories video. And today's ship is the Queen Mary 2. Much you may be like, but Texas, the Queen Mary 2 is still in service and hasn't sunk or has anything bad happened to it. Why are you doing a video on it? Well, I figure it'll be good to educate people about the Queen Mary 2 and what her role is in the Cunard fleet. So, why dilly-dally, let's jump right into it. The RMS Queen Mary 2 is a British ocean liner. She is not in any means a cruise ship, a cruise liner, or any other of those terms. She is a purpose-built ocean liner. She has served as the flagship of the Cunard line since April 2004. And as of 2005, is the only active purpose-built ocean liner, not a cruise ship or a cruise liner. Cunard line is not a cruise line, even though they have cruise ships. It's just so they can make money. Every time I see this, when they people calling the Queen Mary 2 a cruise liner or a cruise ship, it pisses me off. She's an ocean liner. Anyways, Queen Mary 2 sails regular transatlantic crossings between Southampton and New York City. In addition to short cruises and annual voyage and an annual world voyage. Don't get started saying, but you just say short cruises. She's a purpose-built ocean liner. She only does cruises whenever the weather is too poor to do transatlantic crossings. Keep in mind, we're in the era of planes. You can travel quicker by a plane from New York to London than it is on an ocean liner. That is why there's only one left, and it's the Queen Mary 2. If it was quicker to travel by ship, then you would have more ocean liners because people would see, oh, we need more ocean liners. There's a demand for it. No, there's no demand for it. Cunard only built Queen Mary 2 to replace the aging QE2, which I'm going to get into here in a second. She was designed by a team of British naval architects led by Stephen Payne and was constructed in Brittany by Chantiers de Atlantique. And at the time of her construction was the longest at 1,131.99 feet, or for those people in Europe, 345.03 meters, and the largest, with a gross tonnage of 148,528 gross tons. Passenger ship ever built. She no longer holds these records after the construction of Royal Caribbean's International's 154,000 gross ton Freedom of the Seas, a cruise ship, in April 2006, but remains the largest ocean liner ever built. Queen Mary 2 is the flagship of Cunard Line. She was constructed to replace the aging Queen Elizabeth II, which had been the Cunard flagship from 1969 to 2004, and the last major ocean liner built before Queen Mary 2. Queen Mary 2 had the Royal Mail Ship RMS prefix conferred on her by the Royal Mail Service when she entered service in 2004 as a gesture to Cunard's history. Queen Mary 2 is by no means a steamship like many of her predecessors, but is powered primarily by 4 diesel engines, with 2 additional gas turbines providing extra power when required. This integrated electric propulsion configuration is used to produce the power to drive her 4 propulsion pods as well as the ship's hotel services. The spaces for these prime movers are also split, and the controls are also backed up, with the intention of preventing a single failure or a breach from disabling the ship. On January 12, 2004, the Queen Mary 2 set sail on her maiden voyage from Southampton, England to Fort Lauderdale, Florida, in the United States, carrying 2,620 passengers. She was under the command of Captain Ronald Warwick, who had previously commanded the Queen Elizabeth II. Warwick is the son of William Bill Warwick, who had been a senior Cunard officer and the first captain of the Queen Elizabeth II. The ship returned to Southampton late from her maiden voyage after the bow doors covering the thrusters failed to shut in Portugal. On January 10, 2007, the Queen Mary 2 started her first world cruise, circumnavigating the globe in just 81 days. On February 20th, she met her fleet mate, Queen Elizabeth II, also on her 2007 world cruise in Sydney Harbor. This is the first time the 2 Cunard queens had been together in Sydney since the original Queen Mary and Queen Elizabeth served as troop ships in 1941. Despite the early arrival time of 4:52 a.m., the Queen Mary 2's presence attracted so many viewers that Sydney Harbor Bridge and the Anzac Bridge were blocked. And with 1,600 passengers leaving the ships in Sydney, Cunard estimated the stopovers injected more than $3 million into the local economy. Three years after the first Cunard Royal Rendezvous, on the same date, Queen Mary 2 met up with Queen Victoria and then the brand new MS Queen Elizabeth for another royal rendezvous in New York City. On January 13, 2011, Queen Victoria and the Queen Elizabeth made a tandem crossing of the Atlantic for the event. Three years after the first Cunard Royal Rendezvous, on the same date, Queen Mary 2 met up with Queen Victoria. 3 years after the first Cunard Royal Rendezvous, on the same date, Queen Mary 2 met up with the then brand new MS Queen Elizabeth for another royal rendezvous, this time in New York City. On January 13, 2011. The two queens, Queen Victoria and Queen Elizabeth, made a tandem crossing of the Atlantic for the event. All three ships met in front of the Statue of Liberty at 6:45 p.m. for Grucci fireworks. The Empire State Building was lit up in red to mark the event. On 5th of June 2012, the three met again, but this time in Southampton, to celebrate the Diamond Jubilee of Queen Elizabeth II. The queen of the country, not the ship. On July 2nd, 2015, Queen Mary 2 began a 175th anniversary crossing in Southampton. She sailed first to Liverpool, leaving the city after a fireworks display on July 4th. Ironic. And then the actual anniversary day of Cunard's first transatlantic voyage, Queen Mary 2. Oh, Okay, so July 4th is the actual anniversary day of Cunard's first transatlantic voyage. Okay. Queen Mary 2 followed the route of the original ship Britannia, called first at calling first at Halifax, Nova Scotia. A day there, after a day there, she headed first upriver into the harbor, using her bow thrusters and swivel pod motors to negotiate the tight turnaround to come back down close to the city front. A 21-gun salute and a bagpipe band honored the ship from Halifax. The ship sailed down to Boston and was there for a full day at the cruise terminal. Boston was the terminus of the original crossing in 1840. In the evening, the ship backed out into Boston Harbor, where a fireworks display was presented before Queen Mary sailed away. After a night and day at sea, the vessel entered New York Harbor early the morning of July 14th, and docked at the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal. Later in the evening, the vessel sailed to the Laurel. After a night and day at sea, the vessel entered New York Harbor early in the morning of July 14th, and docked at the Brooklyn Cruise Terminal. Later in the evening, the vessel sailed to the lower harbor between the Statue of Liberty and the Battery for the Forever Cunard Queen Mary Light Show. So since the Queen Mary 2 entered service in April 2004, and then became the last ocean liner in November of 2008. So since the Queen Mary 2 entered service in April of 2004, and then became the last remaining ocean liner in November of 2008, she has not only stood the test of time, but the test of all. The Queen Mary 2 continues to do transatlantic voyages for Cunard Line. And as she gets older in age, the question arises, will they build a new one to replace her? Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next one.